Hey everyone, and welcome. If you're studying for your boards, this one's for you. Today, we are jumping into one of the most direct and honestly fascinating strategies in Chinese medicine: stabilize and bind. We're talking about the formulas you need when the body is, well, leaking its precious resources. We're going to break down how they work, when to use them, and maybe most importantly, when not to.
Okay, so here's our plan. We'll start with the big picture idea behind stabilize and bind. Then we'll hit the single most critical rule you absolutely have to know for safe practice. After that, we're doing a deep dive into two classic formulas, and we'll wrap it all up with some quick-fire comparisons to really get those diagnostic skills sharp.
So, let's start at the beginning. What in the world are we even talking about with stabilize and bind? Well, in Chinese medicine, this whole strategy is called gu sei, and it's one of the most powerful tools we have for, literally, preserving the body's essential stuff. See, in TCM, your qi, your blood, your essence, these are viewed as actual treasures. They're the very foundation of your life and your vitality. So when these treasures start to leak out, as chronic sweat or persistent diarrhea or other discharges, it's a really big deal. These Go Se formulas are specifically designed to stop those leaks and lock down your body's most valuable assets. The best way I've found to think about it is like this. Imagine your body has all these different gates that are supposed to control the flow of things. But when those gates get weak or the locks get broken, stuff just starts leaking out. Well, these formulas are like the master locksmiths. They come in, tighten the hinges, fix the locks, and make sure everything precious stays safely inside. Okay, I need you to really pay attention here, because this might be the single most important rule in this entire explainer. It's not just about knowing when to use these formulas, it's about knowing when you absolutely, positively should not. Getting this wrong, well, it can make your patient a whole lot worse. Think about it this way. If a burglar is still inside your house, the absolute last thing you want to do is lock all the doors and windows, right? You just trap the problem inside with you. It's the exact same principle in the body. And this slide makes that core distinction crystal clear. On the left, you've got a deficiency condition. The body is just too weak to hold on to its treasures. That's your green light. But on the right, you've got an excess condition. The body is strong, and it's actively trying to kick a pathogen out. Using a binding formula here would be a huge, huge mistake.
And this really drives the point home. If a patient has a cold, you don't want to trap that pathogen inside. If they have food poisoning, the body needs to get that out. Locking it in would be a total disaster. So rule number one, always make absolutely sure it's a deficiency, not an excess, before you even think about using a stabilize and bind formula.
All right, let's see this principle in action with our first heavy hitter. We're starting with a true classic, Shen, also known as the Four Miracle Pill. You have to love a name like that, right? And it totally earned that nickname. Because, for the right patient, these 4 simple herbs can fix a chronic, really frustrating problem so fast it actually feels like a miracle. So who is this patient? The absolute classic telltale sign, the one you'll see on your exams, is cock crow or daybreak diarrhea. Every single morning, like clockwork, they've got to rush to the bathroom just before the sun comes up. This just screams a deficiency of kidney and spleen yang. They just don't have the metabolic fire to get going in the morning. And you'll see all the other signs of cold and weakness too, like a sore back, cold hands and feet, and just deep fatigue. And the strategy here is just so elegant. The chief herb, boguji, goes right to the root of the problem, warming up that kidney yang. Then you've got rotu deco coming in to not only warm things up, but also to start binding the intestines. And finally, wu zuyu and wu weizi give you this awesome double action of warming the middle and astringing to stop the diarrhea. It's just a beautiful example of treating the root cause, the cold, while also managing the symptom, the leakage. Okay, let's switch gears a bit to another crucial formula that deals with a totally different kind of leakage. This is Jinsu Gu Jingwan. The name of this formula is just so perfectly descriptive. It translates to metal lock pill to stabilize the essence. The imagery is amazing, right? It's like putting a heavy-duty padlock on the body's treasure chest to stop that vital essence from leaking away. Now, the patient who needs this formula is going to show really clear signs of deep kidney deficiency. The hallmark symptom is chronic spermatoria, and the key here is that it happens without dreams. It's just a spontaneous leakage with no stimulation at all. That tells you the kidneys are just too weak to store the essence. And of course, you'll see all the other classic kidney deficiency signs, like a sore lower back, tinnitus, and that deep, profound fatigue.
This formula has this brilliant two-pronged approach. So the chief herb, Sha Yuan Zi, tonifies the kidneys to fix the root weakness. But then, and this is the cool part, you get this powerful team of heavy, mineral-based astringents. We're talking Long Gu and Mu Li, which are literally dragon bone and oyster shell. They physically lock the gate and stop the leakage. It's just the perfect combination of rebuilding the foundation and securing the door.
All right, this is the section you've been waiting for, the high-yield comparisons. Nailing the differences between these formulas is pure gold for your board exams, so let's really dive in.
This slide is basically your ultimate cheat sheet. So let's just pause here for a second, look at the key differences. Shen Wan, that's for daybreak diarrhea, targeting the spleen and kidney, and the strategy is all about warming yang. Jin Suo Guojing Wan, that's for chronic spermatorrhea, focusing on the kidney and liver, and the strategy is to bind the essence. Now, let's look at two formulas for a totally different leak, sweating. Yu Ping Feng San is for spontaneous sweating, and it works by strengthening the lungs' protective qi. But Dongyi Li Wangtang is for a much more intense night sweat from yin deficiency heat. So the takeaway is this: different leaks point to different organs and need totally different game plans.
Okay, let's zoom in on those two sweating formulas, because their mechanisms are so different. Yu Ping Feng San, or jade windscreen powder, is for that patient with weak protective qi. They sweat easily, they're always catching colds. Think of it like you're patching up a weak shield. But Dongui Liu Huang Tang, that's for intense, drenching night sweats caused by a blazing yin deficiency fire. It's a way stronger formula designed to put out that internal fire. So one's for a weak shield, the other is for a raging inferno. Completely different situations.
And hey, just a quick but really important note. This explainer is based on our specific source material. We know there are other really important formulas in this category, like Gujing Wan and Wan Dai Tang, that we didn't cover in detail. So this is your friendly reminder to always use your complete Materia Medica to get the full picture.
All right, let's bring it all home. What is the one core idea that you should really walk away with from all of this?
It really all comes back to this fundamental principle from one of our oldest classics. When the body's vital stuff is dispersing, you have to use astringents to retain it, to stabilize it. This isn't some new idea. It's a foundational strategy that's been at the core of this medicine for thousands of years. The real skill is knowing exactly when and how to apply it. And that leaves us with a final question for you to take with you into your studies and eventually your practice. Memorizing formulas is just step one. True mastery happens in the clinic. So how will you listen to your patient's story, analyze their signs, and confidently tell the difference between a deficiency leak that needs locking and an excess condition that needs to be cleared out? That right there is the art and the science of this medicine.